Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Scope. And now, here are your hosts, Jared, Adam, and Shane.
Hey, Scope fans. We're back. It's episode 179. We took a week off.
One whole week?
We did a lot of fun things in that week.
I did. I don't know about you.
I didn't do much.
Yeah.
Well, except for murder Adam, because he's not here.
Oh, is that? I wondered. Yeah, I wondered.
Adam is actually, he's got the week off. From what I understand, he is in line to see the Transformers movie. He did not listen to our review, which, by the way, if you haven't listened to or watched, please go and do that, because it is one of our best. Jared and I hated it.
We did.
Spoiler alert.
Along with much of the movie critics of America.
Yeah. And if you defend...
Doesn't seem to have made a dent in the box office.
If you defend it for being big, stupid fun, then you're big and stupid. Thank you. Public service announcement over. Jared, in your week off,
yeah,
you took a little trip.
I did.
You took a little trip to Chicago, Illinois.
Thereabouts.
In that area.
The metropolitan area.
For a fest.
For a fest.
Right?
It was a fest. In title, if not in practice.
Fump Fest.
Fump Fest.
We got a lot of crossover with the Fump. The funny music project, correct?
Well, yes. You heard me playing the promotions for that for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Trying to drum up business.
And
I don't know if any listeners of our show were swayed by my incessant playing of the promos, but
to quote the Target lady,
yes.
Success!
Exactly. Where'd you get this? Anyway.
Candle.
Yes, I went to Fun Fest in
you
beautiful
enjoy yourself?
Wheeling, Illinois, outside Chicago. I did. I had a good time.
You went to perform?
I went to perform.
To support the Fump?
Yep.
Did you bring the entire possible Oscar band with you?
All three of us were there.
I asked that question like I didn't know.
Well,
but I did know.
You did know. Success.
You played a lot of music. You hung out with a lot of people.
So
you made some connections.
So this was a 3-day festival. It took place June 20th through the 22nd, Friday through Sunday. It was a bunch of musical acts. Dr. Demento was there. Familiar with the doctor?
I've heard of him.
Yeah. So
is he practicing, or is he retired from his?
He's shut down his practice, but he still has the title because he hasn't shut down his practice. He still broadcasts from his home studio on the internet. And you can get an episode for a mere $1.99 a week.
Interesting.
My terrible Dr. Demento. But he was there. He's been doing a lot of appearances. He was at MarsCon recently as well.
Yep.
And there's been a crew from a place called Meep Morp Studios, and they're doing a documentary about him called Under the Smogberry Trees. So they were there. They were shooting stuff, and they also did a panel. And Dr. Demento did a couple panels. He did a big 2-hour presentation showing a lot of kind of archival stuff and a lot of classic stuff that I hadn't seen before, which was kind of neat, from like the 50s and 60s and like real early stuff.
Gotcha. He is sort of the king/emperor of comedy music, is he not? The overseer.
There's a term that some in the community use for comedy music called dementia music, and that's basically because of Dr. Demento.
Makes
there
sense.
You go.
It makes sense. It all ties together.
So we went out. If you've been to MarsCon, our local late winter, early spring convention, you'll be kind of familiar with a lot of the artists and sort of the vibe of it. I mean, it's a room with a stage, and people are performing back to back to back, and it was fun. We tried something new this time.
Hit me.
We instead of normally our normal setup with the full rock and roll, live drums, guitars, and amplifiers and all that kind of stuff, which is it's fun for a rock and roll vibe, but it's always been a bit of a mixed bag with the convention crowd, because they're not used to full rock volume and whatever. So we tried something new, both for practical reasons and for the crowd's benefit, and that was we plugged everything in directly. So I have a little stage mixer. And so I ran the bass and guitar in direct. But then for drums, I was sort of like, how are we going to do the drum sound? because we have Jeff, the drummer, and he needs to make noise.
Got to beat those skins.
So I sort of came up with this idea, and my idea was encouraged by information I found on the internet, which was, how can I connect this Rock Band video game drum set to a computer and use it to trigger drum sounds? And I got that all to work.
Congratulations.
It worked great. If you're curious at all, I got a wireless Xbox 360 controller fob, whatever, a little USB thing, cost $8 on eBay, plugged into my computer. And then there's an app called RB2 MIDI that we use that takes the Rock Band input and translates it into MIDI notes, which then computer software can then use to play back instruments, whatever.
An instant drum kit is what you're saying.
It worked out really, really well. I was surprised. We only had one issue with one of the cymbal pads starting to give out towards the end of the set. So I'll have to swap that out with one of the new cymbals I bought. But yeah, otherwise it worked great.
Overall.
So I think this will be our convention setup for future shows.
Nice.
So if you've ever been dissuaded from coming to a possible Oscar show at a convention because you don't want to deal with the face melting volume, problem solved.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Congratulations, Jared. So it sounds like it was a success. You sold some merch. You hung out with friends.
Yeah, sold almost $200 worth of merch.
See,
which is good because most people already have all of our stuff. We haven't released anything new, which is what we're planning to do now for the rest of the year.
I'm going to go into the studios with you guys in my Sia-like songwriting skills, and we're just going to start writing music.
If we're gonna swing from the chandelier.
Of course,
yeah.
Chandelier. Chandelier. There we go. Song done, just like Sia.
Wow. We'll have to work on this before we release this on Monday.
You got to give me some sort of chord progression.
Yeah,
Jared.
I need a loop for you to vamp over.
I got to vamp.
Find the melody, and maybe some lyrics will just appear.
Yeah, express or fill out the metaphors. She says.
Yeah. Well, the other part of my drive, part of the trip that was fun was normally I hate driving. I hate driving, 7 hours to get to a place.
Yes.
But I got to listen to Ready Player One. The book, if you're not familiar with this is a book that has a lot of video games and 80s pop culture in it. So that was, I actually enjoyed having the drive to be able to listen to that, most of the book there and back again. So,
did you rob some banks on the way too?
I didn't rob any banks. Was that a thing?
That's what you do on the road, like Thelma and Louise,
like a Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're driving cross country, what else would you do?
I don't know. There's not a lot of banks right off the freeway.
That's true.
I'm just gonna say. I've pretty much stuck to the interstate.
The roadside banks.
Although I did stop at the cheese castle on my way back in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
And is it made of cheese, or what are we talking about?
No,
here?
it's just a building that looks like a castle, and they have cheese inside.
Did you buy any cheese?
I did buy some cheese.
Some cheese curds. Those are delicious.
I bought some cheese curds, but I also bought several varieties of cheese, probably made in the building.
Wow,
potentially they were making cheese on site. This was definitely a popular place to go. It was teeming with people, tourists, and they know their business. They have their cheese section. They have a bar. They have a sandwich counter. It's a whole production. I think if I ever visit a cheese thing on the way back, it'll be like a cheese chalet, one of the smaller town things.
A cheese chalet, yes.
But this was interesting. It's the fact that it was shaped like a castle. I saw it on the way down.
Must
I took the Milwaukee route, and I was like, I'm stopping there on my way back. And I followed through. Cheese castle.
And you know what makes a good cheese curd, Jared? You know when you've got a good cheese curd? When you bite into it and it has that squeaky. That is a sign of a good cheese curd.
Some people don't like to squeak.
Well, then they're eating an incorrect cheese curd. It's not as good.
Okay.
I'm going to write that down. Okay. Incorrect cheese curd. Jared, what do we got coming up on the rest of the show?
We've got news. We've got coming soon. And that's about it.
News is going to be interesting because Adam normally reads it. So,
yeah,
this could be a struggle. This could be great. We just don't really know.
We have Adam read it, and we tend to try to torpedo him a lot.
Yeah.
We can't. He's not here.
We're practically torpedoing the show as it is.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to do that on this segment. I just don't know what to say.
We should probably wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with news coming soon. Jared and Shane, right after this.
This is the Fump.
There's an app for that. Download them for $1 in nothing flat. Whatever you need, you know it's guaranteed. There's an app for that. There's an app for that.
Joker Black Mask and the Penguin, Batman Arkham Origins. Oh hey look, prequel time again. It's not exactly Batman Begins. Joker Black Mask and the Penguin, Batman Arkham Origins.
What to see do you suppose?
Hell babes taking off their clothes.
I want to see some of those.
Let's watch ladies decompose.
There's swinging music playing, there's dripping and decaying. If you know what I'm saying, it's Satan's burlesque.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Salty food, almost paradise.
Down, officer down.
What happened?
Officer down, officer down.
My name is Officer Down of the Special Police. You're all under molest.
Under the scope.
Hey, everybody, we are back. Jared and Shane in the house, under the scope, and news. I would like to tell everyone out there that it has been a huge week in news, but the reality is it really hasn't been that big. Not a lot of... It's summertime, Jared. People take time off. You know, they're out at the Hamptons. They're off at the beach. They're avoiding tornadoes in flyover country in the middle of the nation.
Because they don't have beaches.
They don't.
They have lake beaches, not real ocean beaches.
They're suffering from dehydration on the West Coast. I mean, it's devastating.
Yeah.
But we do have a little bit of news, Jared. Let's start off with possibly the biggest story that might have implications for a lot of our listeners.
What's that?
Fox moves to use the Aereo ruling against the Dish streaming service, Jared. So you heard about the surprise U.S. Supreme Court decision outlawing streaming TV, specifically the Aereo service. Explain that to our listeners what that is exactly.
So Aereo is a service where they have basically just an array of antennas, like to receive over-the-air HD TV, which is free. You can set up an antenna on your house, plug it into your HD TV, and get free over-the-air high-definition local channels.
Yes, you can.
So they have these arrays of antennas in certain areas where they've been starting out.
New York City,
out east. And they've been trying to expand. Minneapolis was on their list for expansion, but they haven't gotten here yet.
And they may never.
Yeah. So, and what they do is you sign up for an account, and for your monthly fee, you're basically leasing that antenna. You're the only one who uses it. And I think they may have like a DVR or some sort of capture system hooked up to it, so you can, so it'll record local programming, and you can stream it to yourself, your TV, your computer, whatever. I guess saving you the trouble of setting up your own system.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're redistributing it to a bunch of people. It's a one-to-one relationship. It's you.
I did not know
it's
that.
you and that antenna. And that's how they thought that they were going to be fine. And completely,
So what if you have 10,000 people in the city?
you have 10,000 antennas?
Interesting.
I believe that's how it works.
Okay. So Supreme Court, obviously networks not happy about the situation. Cable companies also probably not happy about the situation. There's a lawsuit, went all the way to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court decided on a ruling of 6-3 that Aereo is breaking the law.
Yes.
So essentially killing their business. I mean, I don't even know where they go from that.
Well, there is an update on that. They sent out a press release that as of 11:30 Eastern time on Saturday, since this will be out Monday.
Okay.
But today, as we're recording it, that they were suspending service.
So there you go.
So not a shutdown, but basically because we have to comply with the ruling, we're shutting down for now until we figure out what to do next.
We'll circle the wagons.
Yes.
We'll, talk to our brain trust and see what our next step is.
Right. So Aereo is effectively dead in the water at this point until they can figure out what to do next.
So not to be undone, Fox has they've used that ruling to try to clamp down on another TV internet service. Fox has cited Wednesday's ruling to bolster its claim against a service provided by Dish, America's third largest pay TV service, which streams live TV programming over the internet to its subscribers and allows them to copy programs onto tablet computers for viewing outside of the home. So essentially, this is going after their Hopper service, correct?
Correct, yes.
So
and they've been wanting to take down this Hopper service for a long time, and now they have the ammunition to do so.
What is the network's issue with the Hopper service?
Well, it all comes down to unauthorized rebroadcast. That's the term that's been thrown around of content. And I'm not 100% familiar with the Hopper service, but it does seem like it's not necessarily a DVR that resides in your home that you record stuff to and then watch on your TV. I think it's more of a cloud-based system. Well, so they may be recording. Do you have information?
Let's read this.
Okay.
The clash centers on Dish's Dish Anywhere streaming service and its Hopper DVR sideloading feature.
Okay.
Dish Anywhere allows customers to watch live TV or the content of their DVR on mobile devices, laptops, and desktop computers. The sideloading feature allows content from a DVR to be transferred to an iPad. Dish uses technology developed by Slingbox, which makes devices that allow customers to remotely stream their TV service. Slingbox is owned by Dish's former parent company and current technology partner, EchoStar. So it is essentially
it's based on
rebroadcasting.
Slingbox.
Yeah. So Fox not happy with that. Of course, broadcasters cheered the Aereo ruling, and they like you said, they have huge issues with their content being repurposed and redistributed in ways that they do not seem fit.
Right, and that they can't monetize.
They can't. Yeah, it's all about money right there.
Oh, absolutely.
So you and I were talking about this yesterday.
Yep.
Where if the Aereo ruling holds, or it will hold, and they can't really.
I mean, there's really nowhere else to go.
Yeah, where else do they go unless they come up with some
it.
sort of different technology?
Yeah.
Let's say Dish starts getting taken down. Where does this go? How is innovation stifled, and are there other companies that could be impacted
Absolutely.
by this?
I mean, you already mentioned Slingbox, which is what the Hopper Dish Hopper service is built on. Slingbox could be a target next. TiVo very much could be a target next, specifically some of the features of the new TiVo Romeo, which I actually use. And they have a feature where you can stream live TV or recorded programs from your TiVo Romeo DVR to your tablet.
How is
phone.
that any different than what Dish Network is doing?
I would argue, or I would guess that it's not functionally different. Although it's not a cloud service, they're not. Maybe the difference is that your TiVo is recording it to a physical device in your home.
Yes,
and so you are, I guess, essentially rebroadcasting it to yourself when you're streaming it to your tablet, and you can do this outside of your home. I've done it, so I could see that being the case that they make. And I'm not a legal expert, but I don't know how TiVo defends themselves. If the Supreme Court has said that this is Aereo's solution is a problem, and now Fox is using it against Dish, I feel like TiVo is going to be in trouble for this, which sucks because I really enjoy the feature. I like being able to record stuff and being able to watch it on my tablet outside of my home if necessary. And I don't think that that's necessarily any sort of rebroadcast. I mean, what's the difference between me watching it from my DVR on my TV in my home or watching it on my tablet? I'm not redistributing it to a bunch of people. I'm watching it myself. It's a show that I said record this. Now I want to watch it. It shouldn't matter where I'm watching it. So I don't know. And TiVos have been able to, sort of, as you say, sideload for a while now.
Yes.
You've been able to transfer programs off and convert them into a mobile format that works on your phone or your tablet. This isn't really anything new. It's a little more streamlined and easier to do with the Romeo. But I mean, they've been able to do this with Series 2 onward for years now. So I don't know. I'm a little concerned.
Let's zoom out, Jared.
Yep.
Big picture. It has not been a great 6 months for consumers of media, has it?
Not the best.
You've got issues with internet pipelines. You've got issues with TiVo and the Aereo. Are we getting to the point where it's sort of a turning point, a watershed moment in terms of content providers and content distributors being able to clamp down and do whatever they want, and consumers just sort of have to go with it at this point?
Well, I think we are sort of at a tipping point where it could go in that direction where content providers have all of the control. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the FCC deals with the net neutrality, potential fast lane rules. Certainly this Aereo decision by the Supreme Court has impact on all the related services.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're in a situation where we have people who definitely have an agenda in positions of power to make changes that are in favor of big media companies.
Yes.
And that's a disappointment. On the other side, we've got people in the Supreme Court who have demonstrated time and time again that they don't 100% understand how technology works.
Sure.
Yet they're making decisions and rulings on them. I mean, you could make a case, I guess, that Aereo probably shouldn't have flown so close to the sun.
Yeah.
To use an Icarus metaphor with their service, but I mean, essentially, you were leasing an antenna. It just didn't happen to be on your house. So, I mean, I think it falls within the normal rules of what you can do with over-the-air free broadcast content. And what's the difference if I record it myself versus they record it on their device at the aerial place and I elect to play it back? There really isn't a functional difference. So it bothers me that it's been ruled that it's not legal.
You're sort of getting caught up in the minutia of it rather than the idea of what it actually is.
And I think it exposes that we have rules and regulations on the books that haven't been updated to work with modern technology.
Yep.
And now we're at a point where the people who are in position to change these rules are bought and paid for. They have an agenda. And so now these rules, once they do finally get updated, are going to get updated in a way that aren't consumer friendly.
I'm telling you, Jared, Americans don't care about what's going on in other countries. They don't care about issues in the Sudan. They don't care about issues in Afghanistan. But when you start messing with their entertainment, uprisings in the streets. You're taking away my ability to watch Breaking Bad whenever I want. We protest.
Down with you.
We'll have to see how that goes. Jared, let's skip over to some more happy news.
Do it.
In Who the Hell Is This Guy news, Seth MacFarlane pledges up to $1 million for Reading Rainbow. Did you hear about this?
I saw the headline. Tell me the story.
So actor and Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane has pledged to match donations to the effort to revive Reading Rainbow. And LeVar Burton, who is the creator, or I don't even know if he's a creator of Reading Rainbow. He must be.
He's involved. He's at least a producer on it.
He announced on his Kickstarter page that Seth MacFarlane will match donations over the next 5 remaining days of his Kickstarter campaign. Seth has agreed to match dollar to dollar for every pledge made up to $1 million. LeVar Burton says it's going to give us the ability to give Reading Rainbow product away to many more classrooms in need. Reading Rainbow was a television series that aired on PBS from 1983 to 2006. Seth MacFarlane, Jared, let me ask the question. Who the hell is this guy? He is known for his body.
Yeah.
Family Guy. He is known for American Dad. He's known for the Cleveland Show. He's known for the TV show Dads. He's known for his interesting take on the Oscar hosting gig.
True.
He released a movie this summer called A Million Ways to Die in the West, which we saw, which did not do very well.
Did not do well.
But then also
to many people's delight.
Yeah, which is strange. But he also is connected to Cosmos, the award-winning and critically acclaimed revival of the Isaac Asimov, Carl Sagan television show of the late 70s and early 80s?
Yep, something like that. Yep.
This guy is a strange fellow. What do you make of him?
I feel like maybe this is a bit of an image makeover he's working on.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you're right. Everyone knows him from Family Guy. Everyone knows him from all of his body sense of humor. And I feel like maybe some of this, the Cosmos, not that it's bad. I mean, I'm sure it's great stuff that he's doing. But Cosmos and matching $1 million, maybe it's a bit of an image makeover. He's trying to get people to think, look, I'm not just the guy who does dirty jokes. I'm also a guy who's interested in educational programming.
Sure.
Evidenced by Cosmos and Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something where it's completely applauded or I'm trying to think of the word, something that premeditated.
Sure.
Because I think that Seth, at this point in his life, and boy, now we're starting to sound like a extra or something like that, but he seems to me like he has a lot of money. He's done very, very well, and he can do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Sure. Like match Reading Rainbow contributions.
Yeah. And I mean, Cosmos is a really, it's a science-friendly show. It's in some ways it may be even a reaction to a lot of the anti-science fervor that's going on in this country, which it
was very much a reaction to that.
Which is a head-scratching thing in its own right. We could have an entire show about that. But Reading Rainbow maybe ties into something like that. I mean, he's made millions upon millions of dollars from Fox, for Fox and from Fox because of his shows. This guy may be one of the, I don't want to say luckiest guys in Hollywood, but the fact that Family Guy was dead in the water and it came back to be such a big show, maybe he just feels like I can do whatever the hell I want to do. This stuff interests me, and Suck it, America. I'm doing it.
Maybe. Or yeah, maybe you're right. He feels like there is a lot of kind of science denialism in this country, and he's trying to do his part to combat that.
I say good for him.
Through both Cosmos and teaching people to read. And encouraging them to read. Because if you read, you're going to probably, learn some good stuff. And you're more likely to not just take everything that the media is spoon-feeding you as far as anti-science.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of science, Jared, I got another science story here. In failed Disney 70s/80s movies news, this
is my favorite category of news.
A distant galaxy has 3 supermassive black holes at its center.
What?
What do you think about that? Scientists have just discovered a distant galaxy with not 1 but 3 supermassive black holes at its core.
What?
The new findings suggest that tight-knit groups of these giant black holes are far more common than previously thought, and it potentially reveals a new way to easily detect them, researchers say. Supermassive black holes millions to billions of times the mass of the sun are thought to lurk at the hearts of virtually every large galaxy in the universe. Most galaxies just have 1 supermassive black hole at the center. However, galaxies evolve through merging, and merged galaxies can sometimes possess multiple black holes. Question, Jared?
Yeah.
Is Maximilian, the giant evil robot, found in every single black hole area, or am I just crazy?
You might be right. I've never seen the black hole, so I wouldn't know.
Oh my God!
I don't. What?
It's an old reference that you don't even get. I should have covered this with you.
Oh, you're
early.
the worst. I think it's interesting that these can exist so close together. I would think that
are they that close together though?
Well, I don't know, but I guess they're not close enough that they're devouring each other because otherwise they wouldn't exist. But
yes,
that's interesting. Multiple black holes at the crazy.
Did you know that? Well, let's keep moving on, Jared.
Yeah.
Since we really can't talk about this, we're not scientists. You've never seen the black hole.
No, it's just an interesting bit of astrophysicism. Oh. That's not a word.
I think it is. Here's something that might even be more interesting to you.
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey dethrones all female artists in 2014 with huge album sales.
Crazy.
She nabbed the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 albums charts this week with her 3rd studio album, Ultraviolence, which dropped on June 17th. It beat out fellow album premieres from Sam Smith, Linkin Park, Willie Nelson, J-Lo, and Deadmau5. Check this out. I mean, this is not a representation of how fall the record industry has fallen.
Yeah.
The 28-year-old artist sold 182,000 copies from June 17th to 22nd, according to the data from SoundScan. Billboard notes it's the largest album sales week for a female artist in 2014, and the biggest since Beyonce's surprise visual album that arrived in December.
100,000, huh?
Yeah. No, 182,000.
Okay, so
but
close to 200.
Keep in mind back in the 90s when bands like NSYNC were selling...
They'd sell 1 million in the first week.
Millions. 3 million. I mean, it's
Insane.
insanity. So the story is of interest for 2 reasons. Number one, you've got the aforementioned 180,000 in 1 week. And you've got national joke Lana Del Rey, who was pissed on in her last album. Not actually pissed on, but she was a joke. She was made fun of, her song Video Games. She was sleepy. People talked about how she was just this rich socialite who essentially paid her way into the record industry to get her success. And what she did really wasn't all that compelling or great. And here we are a couple years later, and she's back.
Well, how do we explain this?
I can't explain it.
Well, I mean, the reviews have been generally very, very good for her album. I mean, I think Entertainment Weekly gave it an A.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you listened to this album yet? Because I have not.
I've heard a couple songs here and there, and she doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, she's very sleepy.
It's not my thing. It was produced by Dan Auerbach of Black Keys, who Black Keys are real hot right now. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. It's interesting.
What about this, Jared? Her chart success coincides with the media frenzy about her recent death wish statement, where she said, "I wish I was dead already," in an interview with The Guardian, which incited Frances Bean Cobain, daughter of the late Kurt Cobain, to fire back in Twitter in a series of tweets, which I will not read.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure that didn't hurt sales.
Yep.
And maybe it was even calculated.
She said her death statement was taken out of context, going so far to blame the reporter who published it. She said, "I regret trusting The Guardian. I didn't want to do an interview, but the journalist was persistent. He was masked as a fan, but was hiding sinister ambitions for angles. Maybe he's actually the boring one looking for something interesting to write about." Needless to say, she did still say it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's on the record, or at least on tape. So
I don't know. Maybe you have to be a millennial to get it.
Yeah, it's a bit strange to me. But
Yeah.
oh well. We'll see what happens. I just think
I thought like an Iggy Azalea was going to be the champion of summer, but guess not.
well, the summer's still going, Jared.
True.
Anything could happen. Our final story today in Vladimir Putin news, because we are big fans here of Vladimir Putin.
We have our own Putin tracker on the website.
I'm looking at a picture right now. A
We
gold iPhone with Vladimir Putin's face on it is only $4,300, Jared. Supporters of Russian President Vladimir Putin can now prove their devotion to the mother country with a patriotic gold-plated iPhone 5S. Italian luxury brand Caviar per la Pena built the so-called Supremo Putin phone, which is encrusted in 18-karat gold. It features a hand-engraved portrait of Putin's face alongside the first lines of Russia's national anthem and the Russian coat of arms. It retails for a ridiculous $4,300 and is a part of a line of extravagant phones marketed towards people of the highest circle, as the company puts it.
Great. Go ahead and buy that because there's a new one coming this fall and you're going to feel
Yep.
sad. You're going to have to buy a new one. But you probably don't care because you can afford a $4,200 gold-plated Putin phone.
Putin joins the ranks of other notable figures that have also been featured on Caviar phones, including Muhammad Ali and Leonardo da Vinci. The Moscow Times reports.
It's an interesting grouping.
When the gold phone was released last year, it sold out in less than a few weeks.
Oh, it's limited edition.
In April 2013, one company created a $15 million diamond and gold-encrusted iPhone. Although the Caviar phone may be the most extravagant Putin-related product, it isn't the only one, Jared.
Oh, boy.
The Moscow Times reports that following Russia's annexation of Crimea, Russian approval of Putin has been at an all-time high, and the president's face now adorns a variety of patriotic accessories.
Who would have thought that Russian people were like, God, if we could just get Crimea back.
Yeah,
people would respect us again.
It's very strange how there's probably
I got it back, and now it's like, this Putin guy, he's all right.
probably not good. Yeah, if they had a picture of him riding on a horse, bare-chested,
Is that what's
on the back, but no, it's just his face.
That's not. I want a bare-chested Putin on my golden iPhone.
I want a Putin plunger where we put him on a plunger for the toilet, put his face right in there, and just let her rip.
You think so?
Gold-plated. Yes.
I'm not sure how well gold plating and plungers would work together.
Yeah, it's probably not as flexible of a
It
material
is a
as you would
soft
think.
metal, but I don't know if it's that soft.
All right, the Putin plunger. Write that down. That's an idea. I'm sort of like Mark Wahlberg in Transformers. I'm coming with great new inventions. It's
great.
Putin plunger.
And maybe you can patent something that already exists on an alien world.
Perfect. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. We've got more scope. Are we doing coming soon right away, Jared? How are we doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Coming soon. I totally forgot the format. See, that's what happens when Adam is not here.
Coming soon. I'm going to take this one, Dane.
Please do.
I got it.
Episode 179 coming soon.
We're
Jared.
in July now. And as you know, all the good stuff happens in July. For music, July 1st, No No No. Is that the name of the band?
Yes.
Not familiar with them.
They are played on satellite radio.
Okay.
They have a one song I'm familiar with that I kind of like.
The album's called We Are Only What We Feel.
All right.
Old Crow Medicine.
Never heard of them.
Well, they have a new album called Remedy.
Well, we better check it out. We better remedy that situation.
And Seether has a new album, Isolate and Medicate.
Can't fight the Seether, Jared.
I don't think it's the same.
I always want it to be the same.
I know. Brand new movies.
Yes.
This is we've got Wednesday releases because it is the 4th of July weekend.
Oh, okay.
We've got Deliver Us from Evil. I've seen commercials for this. Does
that involve a Putin gold-plated phone?
It does not.
Hmm.
It probably should though. Earth to Echo. What's that about?
It's a movie that combines E.T., Cloverfield, and the 80s movie Explorers.
Sounds great.
It's a sort of a found footage. These kids are trying to help an alien get back to its home planet.
Okay.
It's actually getting decent reviews, Jared.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm probably not going to see it, but that's fine.
And they use a Putin phone to get the...
Everyone's using the Putin phone.
phones everywhere.
It's great. It's great.
And finally,
the latest comedy from Melissa McCarthy also stars Susan Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon?
It's called Tammy.
Co-written with her husband.
Whose husband?
Melissa McCarthy's husband. He was also featured in Bridesmaids.
Yep.
Can't remember his name.
Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we won't. I'm sure we won't pay to see it.
We will not pay to see it.
Yeah.
Jared and I, not as big a fans of Melissa McCarthy's movies as a lot of other people seem to
I like
be.
her in small doses.
She can be very funny, but she can also be very, very grating.
So we'll see. Maybe Tammy's a bold new adventure for her. We'll see. DVD and Blu-ray out July 1st. The Legend of Korra Book 2 Spirits.
People love Legends of Korra.
Didn't the next season just start?
I think so, yes.
So you can get caught up. by getting season 2 on
It's-
DVD and Blu-ray.
It's what they call synergy, Jared.
Yeah. It's like they almost planned it. Almost. Video games, week of June 29th. Another quiet week here in the summer. Sniper Elite 3 for Xbox One, PS4, PS3, and Xbox 360.
I'm just going to warn you right now. I
Yes.
think in general, the year of 2014
Yes.
is going to be quiet for video games compared to what 2015 will be.
Okay.
It's a weird transition year. Between,
Shouldn't this be like the real good like second wave of next gen system games where we really show you what we can do?
I agree with you 100%,
Yeah.
but the correct answer is no.
Okay.
No. E3
That-
proved that 2015 will be a great year in video games. 2014, there's a few,
Okay.
but not great.
Well, you can save your cash.
All right.
You can buy that Putin phone and then you can save more cash.
Well, doesn't a Putin phone and Xbox One cost almost the same?
Probably.
Probably.
Pretty close.
But wait, Jared.
What's that?
There's one more thing.
Hit it or miss it. Hit
Just
of
for you.
the week.
Thank you.
Hit it
Thank
or
you.
miss it. Miss of the week.
Look out! Hit it or miss it, Jared.
Yeah.
You get to pick it. Adam is not here.
Okay.
Tell us what your hit or miss is.
I'm going to go with a miss this time. And I'm going to miss the latest album from Robin Thicke. It's entitled Paula. Is Paula the name of his wife?
That is his wife.
So is this like a big thing trying to get his wife back?
I guess so. He's too busy grabbing the asses of hot young girls.
Yeah, as you know, Robin Thicke had probably the hit song of summer last year.
Yes, he did.
In Blurred Lines.
You may not like it, but it was a bona fide hit. You can't argue that.
It was definitely everywhere. And I don't know if he's trying to recapture the magic. I hated that song. And I've heard nothing from Robin Thicke that I did enjoy. So I say miss this album.
Jared's a hater.
Miss it!
Miss it.
Under the scope.
All right, let's wrap this show up with the landslide of comments we got for the appropriate episode. Which episode would it be for, Jared?
This would be 176.
176 took
Yes.
place a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a news episode.
It was all
We
news.
don't usually get a lot of comments on news episodes.
Well, I don't blame them.
And this time
we won't. If we get comments for this one, it'll be bad comments.
This time is no different. We have no comments.
Okay, well, tell our listeners what they can do to get in touch with us if they do have comments.
You can email us at comments@thescopeshow.com. You can call our voicemail line at 612-21-SCOPE. That's 612-217-2673. You can also hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr. All those links are on our website at thescopeshow.com. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, you can like, comment, or subscribe. All those things are right below. There's a little thumbs up button. There's a little box you can write a comment. There's a big red subscribe button. Click it. Just
click it.
Click it. Together. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Click. There you go. Now you're subscribed. Now you'll get a notice in your sub box every time we put out a new episode.
I'm trying to make my finger go around my face, and I can't do it. I can't.
Wow. Maybe you have some sort of
I don't get
muscular
it.
degeneration.
Okay, up is up. We got that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Down. I did it. All right.
Awesome. Yeah, well, if you'd like to celebrate Shane's success in outlining his face with his finger, you can support us via Patreon. It's the service where you directly support content creators. Patreon.com/thescopeshow. You can donate as little as $1 an episode, set a monthly cap, cancel anytime. If you like what we do and you want to see more of it, sign up.
We need $4,300 for the Putin phone.
We do. It's going to be our
That's
mascot.
our goal. That's our stretch goal. Putin phone.
Putin
Caviar.
phone.
They sell out in weeks, guys. We really need one of these.
Got to
things.
get on the list.
All right. Is that it, Jared?
That's all I have.
That's it. Well, Jared, great show. We did the news without Adam. We did the entire show without Adam. We'll see if he's back next week.
We got to figure out what we're going to do for Convergence, because that's coming up this week.
Oh, my God.
Are we going to do anything? We'll do something.
We'll do something.
We'll see.
That might be a special episode. Maybe we'll talk about it another time. You just never know.
You never know.
So let's get out of here, Jared. Jared, thanks for your work. Shane, thanks for working hard as well. That's me.
Shane, you're congratulating yourself.
Thank you very much.
All
We'll be
right.
back with more Scope next week. Bye-bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves once again at the end. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. I know I have. Fear not, Scope faithful. Days shall pass as if they were but a moment, and Jared, Adam, and Shane will return with another thrilling episode. Until then, send your comments to comments@thescopeshow.com or leave a voicemail message by dialing
612-21-SCOPE. That's 612-217-2673.
Thanks for listening, faithful fans. This is Tony Partington saying au revoir. Tune in next time to another terrific edition of The Scope.